Anyway, so thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. We follow each other on Twitter, and you were saying recently you just did a 24-hour stream.
Yeah, that was
And
insane.
I want to talk about that real quick. And then I guess just for my audience, just in case, introduce yourself. And
Oh
then,
shit.
yeah, I don't know. Just in case. Because I feel like what you've been doing is cool and fun. And I don't know, I think people would like
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. Yeah, hello. I'm Keffals. Obviously, I'm a streamer. I've been like mostly just like being like a funny, silly comfort streamer for like the last year or so,
Yeah.
and then these trans bills, I started realizing what was going on, and I was just like, I can't. I'm too mad. I feel like I need to like cover all of this shit.
Yeah.
And it was like we started with the 24-hour charity stream.
Mm-hmm.
And while we were doing the charity stream, the day of, the news dropped about what was happening in Idaho,
Mm-hmm.
where they passed a bill through the House that would make it illegal for trans people under the age of 18 to receive trans affirming health care.
Which is despicable and gross.
Yeah.
And the reason, I guess not the only reason, but we've talked before, but the reason that I wanted you on today is because you put out a tweet that was basically like, people aren't talking about this enough. And
Yeah.
and I agree. And we covered a little bit of stuff here and there. And I have a huge portion of the fan base is trans in my community, so it felt important, and especially since you can probably, I'll put your Twitter up for a second. You could communicate this better than I could, especially since you went through this
Yeah,
entire
for
stream
sure.
recently, and you know a lot about it, and I feel like I'm missing stuff, so I wanted to want to get informed.
Um, yeah, no, for sure. We covered a lot today. It's exhausting because it's like
Uh-huh.
we're just going over it all. There's like the bills in Tennessee to ban trans healthcare for minors. Idaho, Florida is doing the same thing. Alabama's doing the same thing. Um, I'd have to go through the tracker. It's why are there so many states in the US? Like I'm Canadian. I really appreciate that there's like less than 15 provinces. It's great. Very easy to remember. But yeah.
So I'm in Michigan. Looks like we have one bill, and it seems to be an athletic requirement that only fucking biological males may compete for positions on and compete on boys' high school teams. See, this is dumb shit too.
Yeah.
The sports thing is a really. It seems like an argument that we shouldn't be having at all, and but like it seems like one they want to keep having. I don't know. It's
I think it's just because it's such a good culture war talking point,
yeah. Well,
you
I
know?
know. I like
It
Ben
doesn't
Shapiro brings it up, but just like folks seems like, do we have to worry about this? Yeah, I'll put the link to this
I know
the
it's like
tracker.
trans people are such a small minority,
Mm-hmm.
and then most trans people that I've met are actually afraid of even participating in sports in the first place.
Yeah, and also just not to mention the culture of sports places tends
Oh,
not to
your
be
chat's
like.
saying I'm a bit loud.
Are you a bit
I
loud?
can turn myself I
I'll
can
turn you
turn
down
my
mine.
audio
Nah,
down.
nah, you're good.
Okay.
I'll put you down my end a little bit. You sound fine in my head, but they get a little bit different audio than I do, so that's okay. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's not like sports are traditionally very uh, I guess inviting to the LGBT crowd. It's not it's not traditionally a place where that happens, I guess, which is sad.
Hmm.
Obviously, I don't. America has an interesting relationship with sexuality and gender now, and like I feel like these are the last gasps of a generation that lost the culture war basically. But they're still materially going to hurt people in the interim. What's the
Yeah,
stuff that you're worried about most, in your opinion?
I'm on it. Like I'm really like I think the sports bills are bad,
Mm-hmm.
but those aren't what I'm worried about the most. I'm
Yeah.
really worried about the bills that are restricting trans people under the age of 18 from receiving health care because
Yeah.
that those bills are actually going to make people kill themselves.
Right. Yeah. Do you know which states are specifically the? I mean, there's lots doing it right now, but one that we
Um,
should keep our eyes on right now
Tennessee.
has
Tennessee is
14
one
bills
of the
right now.
states. Um, the thing with Texas is actually there's no bill.
Yeah,
It
that was like
wasn't. It
a
was like an
government
executive
thing.
order.
Yeah, or a governor thing, right? Like he was basically just saying like, um, wasn't it Child Protective Services or something? It was basically like just hey, narc on your fucking neighbors about what your their families are
Yeah,
doing. Like it's really stupid.
yeah. And right now the situation was that like they took a child protective services worker. They investigated her because she has a kid that's trans. So she took the government to court. Um, and fuck, I forgot what happened. Oh yeah, so the attorney general of Texas, Ken Paxton, um, he he put like an injunction against the I'm sorry, I've been streaming for a long
No, you're
time.
good.
I'm
You're good.
trying
You're
to
good. You're
remember
good.
these legal terms.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to have like exactly the specifics, I guess, because we're not legal
Yeah.
experts. But
Basically, he tried to stall it, and then a higher Texas court said he couldn't do that, and now he's trying to sue the Biden administration for like a violation of states' rights.
states' rights. Whenever someone cites states' rights, it's sus. I don't know. I
Oh
don't.
yeah, no, for sure.
The history of people that are like states' rights to defend the things that they want to do is not necessarily sparkling clean as far as their intentions are concerned. I'm also looking at the dates of these, and all of them are recent. Like twenty
Oh
twenty might
yeah.
be the latest one I'm seeing. 2022 is most of them. 2021, like it's all happening really fast.
Um
This makes
yeah,
the
yeah,
next
no it
election
is.
cycle
And
important.
like in 2021 there were 150 bills introduced into different state legislatures, and so far this year there's 50 different bills. And we are less than 4 months into the year.
So it.
Personally, I think
Go ahead.
I think the reason why it's all happening right now is because this was already the trajectory the United States was heading towards, but so many people are like really distracted by um like the pandemic and what's happening with Russia and Ukraine that it
Mm,
just seems like an opportune time.
so it's like a smoke screen to try to pass some of these. It that
That's at least what I think.
it's it's definitely also we're about to head into the midterms. Every even year basically is a midterm year for part of the federal um, like the Senate, I guess, and the House have rotating election cycles, and of course, local and state governments have these as well. And every even year, they seem to find a wedge issue to try to do to try to stake their political aspirations on. CRT was a big one, and I think we're going to see the resurgence of that. Though some of the
Oh
CRT
yeah, I haven't
people,
seen anyone say anything about that in a while.
well, yeah, because the CRT folks went on live TV, like Dr. Phil, like roasted the CRT people. So like when you're getting owned by Dr. Philip McGraw on national television, it might be time to rethink. Well, who was that guy? It was Jimmy Concepts went on, and Conceptual James went on, and he just started naming, like he memorized facts out of the book and was like, "Yeah, I guess I this is why CRT is bad." And everyone's like, "What are you talking about, bro?" Yeah, James Lindsay. Same thing here. It seems that there's you can see the pundits on like YouTube, like the Daily Wire especially has been doing a lot of anti-trans think of the kids bullshit. And I think this is just another one of those things where they're going to stake a lot of their political aspirations on, I guess, trans people's bodies. I don't really know what another way to put it. It's just sad. And it started off like oh,
Yeah.
such a small
I
percentage of the population. Why do we even have to care? To the point where the super minute portion of the population that we shouldn't care about, now we need to legislate against? Like, what kind of fucking mindset is that?
And it's like they're using a lot of the same rhetoric that they used against the gay community in the
Yeah.
1970s. Like they're using this
Hmm.
save our children moral panic that they had been previously using to push back against like same-sex marriage
Yeah.
or just like gay people being included in the military or in other like fields of employment. It's I don't know what the change was. I honestly wonder if it's because gay people became so um they became accepted enough and normalized in society that the gay community actually does have a lot more money than the trans community, and it's easier to push trans people around.
I think there is a contingent of that, which is sad. You definitely see it around Pride Month every year. We have like the discourses, and usually trans people are getting pushed out of the space by you know the the kind of, what do they call themselves? Gender critical now? Like what part of gender are
They're
you critical about? I don't.
no, exactly.
What's the critical analysis? That we're locked into whatever we got going on. It seems very well. We can't say that word. Okay, we cannot say, it's a slur. Okay, that's what I've been told. I actually got banned on Twitter for calling someone that a T slur. Apparently, the Nerf word. We can't
It's
call it that.
so funny. I had a TikTok that like kind of blew up,
Mm-hmm.
but it was funny. It was like this. I found out it was a detransitioner afterwards. I just thought it was a just like a cis woman,
Yeah.
and she was wearing an I Heart J.K. Rowling shirt, and the text was
Yikes.
like, "What are my pronouns? What does it look like?" And I just said, "Your pronouns are annoying. You look annoying." And I got flagged for hate speech.
That's funny though. That is funny.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like they are vicious.
they are. They're so weird. It reminds me of, not to tip my fedora too much, but uh, atheist Twitter back in the day.
Oh God, like
Like
amazing atheist shit
yeah,
or
yeah,
like
yeah. But like Christian people used to do a very similar thing. Even though atheist Twitter was very cringe back in the day, it used to be like, I don't believe in God, and they like go down the atheist hashtags and like try to mass report people in a similar way that the GCs do to folks. I also found it really interesting lately. This is not really about legislation, but you did well. I don't know. Calling it a social experiment would be a little highbrow, but you basically just changed your profile picture to be like a fella to see how people interacted with you, and that was
so fucking
fascinating.
funny.
That's fascinating. Of
Yeah, I
course, it
just
was
like changed
expected, I
it to
guess.
like a random stock photo
Yeah,
of a guy.
just a fella.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting to see uh, the interactions and how they changed with you. Was it Matt? Yeah,
I
named
thought it
Matt.
was interesting because I was making the same jokes that I made otherwise, but then people just
Hmm.
like they went way harder on me for it.
Yeah, it's good. It's I don't.
Yeah.
I think it's also interesting. These are always the people that are like, we can always tell. Like, what do you mean you can tell about stuff? I don't understand
Oh,
the transvestigation aspect of this. Like, why do they want to like suss it out? What do they get out of it? It's so strange.
it's funny too. Like I'm constantly I started using the transgender tag recently on Twitch. I stopped for a while because it
Would you get
doesn't
trolled?
really help anyone find my stream. It just except for
Mm,
people who do targeted harassment.
mm-hmm.
Um, but like people come in to my stream and they'll say you'll never be a man like pretty frequently, which is like it's they have no idea.
That's super funny. It's
Yeah.
sad, I guess. It's also like, I don't want you. I mean, even quasi harass,
It's
even though it's they're trying to harass you, but they miss. It's funny in a way, but it still sucks that, like, you even have to deal with that at all. I guess.
it happens literally every
Yeah,
stream. It
yeah,
doesn't even really phase me anymore.
yeah.
Um, like I don't know.
A nat one
The biggest
intimidation roll.
issue
Jeez.
the biggest issue I have with it is that I like to fuck with them too much, and my mods
Mm-hmm.
don't like that I do that, so they
Mm-hmm.
usually ban them before I can bait them. Like they'll
I
when they say like you'll never be a woman, I usually just go like, uh yes, you're right. I identify as a man and thank you for respecting that. And then they immediately flip script and be like, you'll never be a man.
yeah.
They don't even know what they want.
They don't know. I like how sometimes transphobes can accidentally like hyper validate trans
Yeah,
people.
it's great.
Like it's in their hateful rants, they're like, "By the way, you're a pretty lady, never gonna be a man." Like, I don't know. What's the bar for like a transphobe? Like, is there like a transphobe out there who is like, man, this person comes across as reasonable? You know, that's not a thing. I They
Um,
don't have like reasonable representatives out there that are like telling, like, I guess it would be J.K. Rowling, right? That'd be like the number one. Is that the head of the snake right now?
she's definitely like the biggest person out there. Like the stuff with J.K. Rowling today was just like wild.
The Vosh thing.
God, what the fuck? It felt like, like have you ever watched like a foreign film or a
Yeah.
foreign movie
Uh-huh.
and it's just like they're having like a full-on dialogue and then suddenly they drop like they say Taco Bell or something in English. It's like
Right.
kind of what it felt like. It's just like
It's
surreal.
really jarring.
Yeah. Like this clash of worlds sort of thing.
It is interesting, though, the joke that was said and then the number of people that were like, "Wow, what a misogynist." I was actually surprised at the reaction that like, 'cause I guess I could bring it up. Uh,
I mean, yeah, it was.
it was funny. Oh, I gotta look it up. He basically said, "Women be quiet," and it was like pretty clearly like he was being dumb, like I was on purpose.
It
And
was definitely, he was definitely, just like being shitty about it, but like,
yeah, absolutely, I get it. If you have no like understanding of what's going on here, women be quieter and start apologizing. Challenge, yeah, that comes across as totally shitty. I feel like he was joking, but like it was really funny that this all J.K. Rowling had to do was shut the fuck up. She could have been almost uncritically beloved for like a century. That's not a bad take. That's a
he
reasonable
could have
take.
kept it. He could have just tweeted the first part.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. He made it
he
worse.
really
He
could've.
totally made it worse. He likes to do that though.
He made it worse.
He definitely made it worse. It. I think that he put that really really. Do you think it hurts? Like, do you think I gave her ammo
I, um,
in a way? I don't know.
I think it did,
Yeah,
but I don't know if a lot of the people who like really support J.K. Rowling and hate trans people would really be swayed anyway.
that's true. Yeah.
And also, I don't think that if he didn't include the second like questionable edgy tweet, she would have even paid any attention.
Right. Yeah. I wonder how much
I
of
do
that
wonder.
is him knowing that might get her to say stuff.
I doubt that he could have predicted this. This
Well,
is
no,
ridiculous.
it seemed like bait though. Seemed a little baity. Maybe
It could have
maybe it
been
was just a
bait.
shit post. Maybe it was just like
I mean, I have purposely baited content creators into responding to me by
Yeah.
being shitty, though I try not to do that. That feels like a toxic thing to do. I'm working on myself.
I agree. I have done these things as well. I think it's I'm to the point now where I'm so jaded by the process of how people interact with what I guess like the drama idea that I'm just like, can we just like talk? I'm just so I don't want to do like your fucking round table thing.
I was really mad. I think I had to like I had to go into a rant today on stream about it because um like that charity stream was supported by some pretty big content creators.
Mhm.
Like Hassan Piker rated my charity
I would have
stream.
loved to. I was a little busy at the time
Her
and
ramble was
totally
just
forgot
a
to do at the
ruin.
end of it, but I would have.
That's
I
all
meant
good.
to.
We raised like $52,000,
Awesome.
so that was cool.
Awesome.
Um
I actually went back and watched a little bit, but not done.
Yeah, it was cool. It's hard to like try and stay engaging for that whole time, but I think
Hmm.
we did pretty well.
Yeah, we've done a couple
Um,
24-hour things before, and it can get rough. It helps having some people around to give you a little bit of energy back.
yeah. What I just hate is like I wanted to thank different people for the support they gave. Like, I thanked Vosh for donating $2,000 for the charity on
Hmm.
Twitter, and a whole bunch of people got mad at me. And I thanked Hassan for raiding, and a whole bunch of people got mad at me. And I'm just like, can we like put this aside?
Right.
Like, I get it. You don't have to like any of these people, or the
Mm-hmm.
content that they make. But this wasn't about that. This was about kids in Texas
Right.
who are afraid that they might get taken away from their families by child protective services just because they're trans.
Yeah. This is happening to Twitch now. It happened in YouTube days as well when the skeptic community was around. But like, people have started to like really click up and decide like, oh, I like this streamer and that streamer and this one, and like most of us agree broadly on most things, and some of us are just a little bit edgy. That's really the problem. Like Vosh is edgier than I am, and that's like, and so some
Yeah.
people in the group don't like him, and that's fine. I don't care if you don't like him. But like when like he's doing his charity stream right now, right? Or is it still going on? And then Hassan did the one recently, and both of whom are cool enough folks, and like I don't know why them doing a good thing would take away from the good thing necessarily.
I just
It's
yeah, no. I just hate that it's like people try and turn it into a discourse about
hmm
something besides
right.
I don't know. It just feels shitty. It feels shitty to try and turn a thing about like children who have
Mm.
nothing to do with this online content creation space into some sort of drama fodder.
Yeah, where it centers the streamers and their beef instead of like the point of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it. I
And it's like um this is really personal to me.
right.
I don't know if you saw like that photo of mine that like
Mm-mm.
went
Is it on
pretty
Twitter?
viral. Here, I'll just throw a link in Discord if you
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to.
yeah. Keep thinking back to this picture my dad took of my mom holding me while I was recovering from the bottom surgery. This is what they want to take from young trans people. They want to take away the ability for our families to love and support us. They want to take away our futures. Well, that's really fucking cute
Yeah,
and made
I
me
was like,
it's emotional.
yeah. Like I was 18 in this photo and we had been planning for that surgery to happen for a year at that point.
And
And
I don't know how old you are now.
it's
How
like
long ago
these are
this
the
was
law.
this?
This was 9 years ago.
Gonna have
This is a long time ago, before any of these laws were a thing.
yeah.
But like the whole thing with the kids in Texas and the kids in Idaho and the kids in all of these states where they're making it illegal for them to seek hormone treatments or like risk or in the case of Texas it's like get taken away by child protective services.
Yeah.
Those things would have definitely affected me. I started hormones while I was a minor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like seeing people try and turn this issue
Yeah.
into some sort of like spectacle just pisses me off.
Yeah. And I don't know if you know this about me. I mean, I'm cis, but my best friend is a trans woman, Hannah, and we used to do YouTube and stuff together. And
Oh shit, I didn't know.
yeah, yeah. And I was before she came out to even us. We were outspoken and supportive, so hopefully that made it easier for her. But yeah, I've seen pretty close a lot all the bullshit that goes into it. Like people don't understand. Like it's not just like your family and support and stuff like that, which is obviously incredibly important. But like the apparatus of the government and how it can like even passively oppress somebody that's just trying to live however they want to live. Like Hannah had to go through so much bullshit just to get her name legally changed. She had to take out an ad in the paper, which is like archaic and terrible and kind of dangerous. And then like I don't know, the treatments and like some of this is choice, but like laser hair removal stuff that she's been going through lately, and like is really important to her specifically on how she feels about herself, and it can seem to somebody like, oh, that's elective, but like, I mean, this stuff is like quite literally saving her life. So yeah, it's close to this community as well. I mean, it's
Yeah, no, for sure.
yeah. I'm just
Yeah,
glad that you
I
were
had
able
to go
get
through a bunch of like hoops and shit like that too.
And this is in Canada, though, so
Thankfully
it's
you
a little bit
didn't you
different,
don't have
right?
to put your name in the paper in Ontario, but I know that's still the case in a lot of places.
Yeah. I guess what should we be like? Is there a specific sort of things that we can be supporting right now that would actually do like immediate help? Because obviously, like the big stuff, like legislation wise and stuff, that's like voting and mobilizing like political organizations and that kind of big stuff. Is there anything we can
Yeah.
do to like help people, like mutual aid or anything
I
like
don't
that?
even
Or
I've been like looking and trying to find something, and it's like I'm actually at a loss, honestly.
yeah, we've done
Like for a
mermaids in the
lot of
past, but that's
these,
UK.
yeah, and the situation is still like a lot different than in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like if they're straight up banning it in the state, like how do we help these kids, you know?
Yeah.
By the state laws, nothing is wrong. They're fine. So how do you get those kids like gender affirming healthcare? How do you get them out of the states? These are questions I don't actually have answers to, and I'm trying to think like
Mm-hmm.
what can be done.
Outside of individual like GoFundMe's help individuals one at a time, but obviously it's hard to enact like any sort of real change if we have to one by one thing. Obviously, systemic solutions are almost always
Yeah.
like way better. So
Like
yeah.
I had like a trans girl on my stream today while we were talking about Tennessee. She's like 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And Tennessee just passed a bill through the House. So if it gets Senate approval, she has to stop taking hormones because
Jesus.
the doctor won't be able to see her anymore. And it's like then what? It's like she has no money. She can't leave the state. And her parents don't support her, so it's not like they're going to like go out of the way to help her.
That's obviously bleak. um, not a super big fan of that.
No, it's
I don't.
it's been really rough the past several days. I've had like even other trans people
Yeah.
who like regularly watch my streams just be like, I can't, this is too much, this hurts,
Mm-hmm.
I can't watch. And it's like, I get it.
Yeah.
It's incredibly bleak.
Well, I mean, we've worked with Trans Lifeline in the past, but that almost feels like reactionary and not like proactive. Like, while it is helpful, it's like helping people when it already gets bad, not preventing it from getting bad, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like, what can a suicide prevention hotline really do when the situation is like they legally cannot seek help for their transition?
Yeah.
They know they're trans, but there's no step besides waiting and hoping that maybe you can somehow get out of the state and then somehow you have enough money to find somewhere to live and enough money to start your transition elsewhere. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
these are kids.
Yeah, and it's not easy just to move a state, especially when I look at this map, pretty much east of the Mississippi, there's a handful of states, all of which are small, that don't have a single anti-trans bill on the books, and a lot of the other places are just expensive to live. It's tough. Like the Deep South, obviously, is greatly affected by this.
Yeah.
Iowa is surprising to me in that it's usually a quiet state when it comes to this kind of stuff, but they really apparently removing gender identity as a protected class under Iowa Civil Rights Act. Like that's actually wild to me. That just like I don't think they understand that this isn't just targeting like trans people. Like
Oh yeah.
this has broad
No,
like they're like pointing at themselves as well. Like suddenly that's like legalized sexism. I don't, which is a strange tactic to go with. I don't actually understand what they hope to gain, I suppose, with the legislation. I don't know what the end goal is. Like, trans people exist, and I think that's
I
like,
think I don't know. I think there's like a lot of parallels with the Southern strategy.
mm,
Like they know that there's a large uptick in transphobia
mm-hmm,
among the base for Republicans. So if they can appeal to that through all of this anti-trans legislation,
yeah.
they can probably secure a lot more votes and a lot more support.
So it's a means to an end.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't seem to have any other. It's very cynically, it seems, about Republican votes, at least in the United States. This is obviously a broader like social issue, but it's interesting to me, like the long term, how this plays out long term. I feel like it's hard to sustain any form of like social bigotry. Like it's over time, people are just like, yeah, I know a trans person and I love that person, and it's hard for me to support that. Like you saw it with the anti-gay stuff in the 2000s. Like we started off where like even Democrats were like, no, I don't know where I am on the gay marriage thing, and then now it's like it's a Democratic position to be pro-gay marriage, which should be easy for everyone. And now they're sort of waffling on the I don't know about gender stuff. Like it's only the wackadoos that are like, hey, you can live however you'd like. It seems quintessentially like
Yeah.
American freedom, sort of. Like, is there a bigger? Is there a better example of self-expression than like literally living however makes you most happy? I don't know. It seems it's sadly it's hateful for the sake of it a lot of the time.
No, absolutely. It's just like it's been hard to like maintain hope. Like I was very hopeful after the fundraiser, and then it's just like, oh God, no, it keeps coming. It keeps coming.
I think it'll look that way until the midterms, and some of them might pass. The ACLU seems at least very confident that most of these things aren't constitutionally backable, I guess. Not that that necessarily matters, because obviously Republicans will try to push through stuff anyway. But I'm wondering what the case is going to be that, like, eventually this has got to reach the Supreme Court at some point. And I just don't know what the... I know you're not an American, but I'm sure at this point you're more than familiar with our bullshit system we inflicted on the world as far as discourse. So I just don't really know how that stays constitutional. Like any form of like you can treat someone different based on their identity.
Well, like, I know that because we were watching the live stream of the Idaho House while they were discussing that bill, and one of the people who voted against it was saying, like, if this goes through, it's going to cost the state millions of dollars in court because every medical association from like at the highest level to like the Idaho Medical Association agrees that gender affirming care is the appropriate treatment for trans people, even if they are under the age of 18.
Yeah,
so it's like, yeah.
Idaho has a. I used to live in Idaho for very briefly, and it has a really terrible contingent of very strict conservative like Mormon backing. Like the Mormon Church pays and lobbies for a lot of the, I guess the state body is very in the pocket of the Mormon Church, and I believe at the time it was. I don't know if that's the case now, but Idaho had the largest per capita, like their legislative bodies throughout the state and local levels are the most Republican in the country, which is
Oh
not a good
yeah.
thing.
We were looking at the Senate because like after it passed through the House, we were like, okay, what's the Senate composition? It's like 28 Republican to 7 Democrat.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah.
It's and I used to live in Boise, which is definitely, it's a college town. It's the most liberal part, and I mean it's still very, very conservative. Um, it's a rough place to live if you're not a righty for sure. It was odd, and it's and I live in Michigan now and grew up here, and a little bit differently, but it's very fucking white there.
I would imagine.
It's shocking.
It's like, isn't that like the U.S. Midwest or?
No, Michigan is like quintessential U.S. Midwest, and we have like a hugely diverse population. Like I'm a minority in my city, as a white guy, and which not by a lot, but it's enough to where like it was a culture shock for me to go to Boise. And like the only black folks there were like first generation, like from like African immigrant from my neighbor was Kenyan, and that was the only black people I met in the 2.5 years, 3 years I lived there. There were some other people just incidentally in the neighborhood or something. It was really odd. So I mean, like, they're really behind in so many ways in that state, and I don't know. It's rough. It's rough there. I don't want to keep you forever.
Oh no, no, no!
It's the end of your night, but
I know it's okay.
Okay. What should I know? What do we gotta know moving forward? What's the one, if there's one thing or a handful of things that you're like, please, can we just talk about this a little bit more? Can we be aware of this a little bit more? What do I gotta?
Shit.
Or I mean, if that's too big a question, just what's on your mind right now? What is the thing that you wish to boost awareness of right this second?
It's like, you know, it's like there's, I wish that people were more outraged, just because like the trans community is so small,
right?
We don't have a lot of money collectively between us. We have like I think as far as trans people go, there's even only like a handful of celebrities, and even of those, like we have like people like Caitlyn Jenner and Blair White who just like have decided to stand against the community because
what's that porn actor, trans guy?
Buck Angel.
Buck, jeez, yeah.
Where it's like they found a very comfortable position attacking their own community because they know that it can secure them a good living.
Yeah.
Be the acceptable trans person.
We do not have a good relationship with Blair White on this here podcast or Twitch stream. She's not I think she blocked me. I don't know.
That's funny. I don't think I've ever interacted with her before.
Oh, she is a dummy.
In
the nicest
yeah,
way,
but
she's a dummy.
Oh no, I agree. But it just like it sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Because people are going to die, but it doesn't seem like anyone really cares aside from like the trans community and a lot of other people who, although they're well-meaning allies, don't really have a lot of power or a huge platform. They can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, that's the problem that we run into here is like we'll do charity streams every once in a while, and it's like a drop in the bucket, and it helps, but it's Elliot Page, I guess, is the one. But does he even like do advocacy stuff? Like Elliot's got a lot of stuff going on. Laverne Cox, I don't know.
Oh yeah. No, it.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
Thanks for coming to hang out. I want to do something fun instead of sad soon.
That's fair.
I would love if we could do fun stuff forever, but obviously we can't do fun stuff all the time. But I guess before you go and have the rest of your night and hopefully chill, what have you been doing on stream lately, and why should people go hang out? Like, and just
Um,
like maybe do that over there. 2 to 10 on the weekdays.
okay. Yeah, that's basically a 2 to 10, Monday through Friday. We're covering the news, and then between that, we're watching funny videos. I usually end the stream by gaming.
Yeah.
It's informative, it's sad, it's heartwarming. A lot of the people in the stream are trans, and I don't know, a lot of people are saying they feel less alone because of it, because it's like we're not just on our own finding out about this news. We're together as a community.
Yeah, we have a very similar experiences. I'm glad that that's what you got going on. We have a pretty tight community as well, and we do a thing at the end of streams called cleanses, where we just do something fun. We don't talk politics really. We get it out. And we've been watching Gordon Ramsay stuff recently. It's been fun.
Oh yeah, he's great.
he's a fun guy. It's been good. All right, I appreciate you. I thank you so much, Keffals, for stopping by.
All right.
We're definitely. I want to be your friend. I want to be best friends. You're so chill, dude. Like, you're so fucking
right.
calm. You're a nice follow on Twitter as well. I can recommend. So, everyone go follow Keffals and support and everything.
I hope you have a good stream. I'm gonna go chill now.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you. Good night.